So here's a quick look at the Roper everyday carry. This is called the Deputy. It's a ball bearing folding knife, so it's a kind of assisted opening knife. Roper is kind of the slightly more budget version of a company called ABKT, and I've actually reviewed one of their other elite knives, which are kind of their higher end. The first thing to say about this knife really is it's under 30 bucks. So I'm sure there'll be people online that'll moan about a few little features on this, but actually for 30 bucks, I think this is a perfectly reasonable folding knife. Some of the things to look for is, unlike a lot of knives I've reviewed, it's super shiny. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but most have a handle or a grip of some kind with a texture. But this one is got a beautiful kind of stainless steel grain in that direction on the handle, and then the grain is actually in a different direction on the knife itself. And it makes for a very attractive looking knife. It also makes it quite thin, which means as an everyday carry it's not taking up a huge amount of space in your pocket or sat on your belt. The blade itself's 3¼ inches, I think, from memory. It's got a slight drop point to it. It's made from a Chinese chromoly steel. I think it's, oh, here we go, from memory, chrome 08 moly 13. It's quite a popular steel. I've seen it a few times on a few other knives of that are built to a budget, and I have to say it's a pretty reasonable steel for a blade. Without getting too bogged down with the experts on Reddit forums and that kind of thing, there is no perfect steel for a knife. You've got 3 different features for a blade that you're looking for in the quality of the steel. You're looking for its hardness, you're looking for its resistance to rust, and you're looking for how well it holds a blade, how hold it sharpness. This Chinese chromo steel is a pretty good general all-rounder. It's pretty easy to sharpen. In fact, I'd say it's quite easy to sharpen. It holds its sharpness pretty well as well. It does sort of 50-60 cuts at the paper test, but it's also reasonably resistant to rusting as well, so you don't have to keep oiling it regularly. The features that I think are worth talking about on this knife, that I think are reasonably unique to the ABKT and Roper people, is that they tend to do their folding assist knives with a ball bearing or with a bearing joint here, and what that means is you get an incredibly smooth mechanism when you fold and an incredibly smooth mechanism when you deploy. Very, very noticeably smooth mechanism. It's lovely. It's really quite noticeably wonderful. On the back you've got a standard clip to attach to a belt, which is reasonably good, although I'd say it's a little bit too tight. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I find it quite hard to attach to a belt. It's got a hole through for a lanyard, which is super useful. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I really like the little Roper logo just discreetly in the handle there like that. What other features are there to point out? That's about it, although I do like the kind of exposed nature of the liner lock mechanism. I don't know, I just find it very satisfying. It's kind of like one of these posh automatic watches. So for some reason a lot of companies try and hide this mechanism, but on the Deputy here you can actually see how the liner lock works and how you push it down to just redeploy it. So that's it really. You know, ultimately this is an awful lot of knife for very little money. I'll put a link in the description below to a more in-depth blog. If you like my videos and find them useful, please like and subscribe. It's super helpful for me to get my hands on lots of products and review them. But there you go, there's a super quick whiz through of the Roper Deputy everyday carry ball joint folding knife.